Hello everyone, welcome to Tourism Talks. Do you love to travel, and want to change the world by supporting travel and tourism industry? Or, are you still confused about the negative impacts of your travel? Explore through our new course on responsible tourism. In the end, you will get you to know how to be a responsible tourist, and how your travel can change the world. The entire course is structured into 4 parts. In the first part, we will discuss basics of responsible tourism. For the second part, it covers responsible tourism characteristics and dimensions, which proposed by Cape Town Declaration. The third part is designed as to gain important responsible travel etiquettes, or tips. This part is all about how to be a responsible tourist. And for the final part, we will explore some responsible tourism models, initiatives and cases. Let's learn together about responsible tourism basics. Many of you may still be confused on what is responsible tourism means, and how responsible tourism activity, or a tourist, differs from the usual tourism system. Let's check it out, and learn from the very basics. You all know that the traditional tourism or mass tourism activities have many negative impacts on the local environment, economy and culture, etc. Even though mass tourism generates more income for the economy, in reality, mass tourism activities are creating more pollution, environmental degradations, economic instability, cultural conflicts and many social problems in tourist destinations. So, to avoid these kinds of effects by the tourism industry, many scholars proposed different alternative tourism models. That's how the responsible tourism concept also developed. Responsible tourism was developed with the intention of environmental conservations, community empowerment, and promoting other dimensions of sustainable developments in and around tourism. Responsible tourism is more concerned with the effects of tourism on economy, ecology, and communities. And responsible tourism seeks to improve these impacts by providing tourism activities which benefits the local host communities, improves their working conditions, involves the local community in tourism planning, promotes the cultural heritage, and conserves the environment. In simple terms, responsible tourism initiatives are the tourism initiatives that trying to make sure all tourism activities are designed and functioned in a way which benefits the local communities, protects local environments, and solves local issues or problems. When it comes to the formal definition of responsible tourism, Cape Town Declaration 2002 defined it as making better places for people to live in and better places for people to visit, which reflects that responsible tourism is created to provide a mutual benefit for the host, guest and environment. Now let's understand how responsible tourism activities differs from the mass tourism activities, or how a responsible tourist is different from a normal tourist. These are the major differences. The same applies to any kind of alternative tourism activities. Mass tourism promotes large group travels, even in mass size. But, responsible tourism promotes only small group tours or individual tourism activities. It helps to eliminate many negative impacts created on tourism destinations, especially when tourism activities take place above the particular destination's carrying capacity. Mass tourism mostly provides or promotes fixed tour programs, wherein responsible tourism is focused on customized tour programs. By planning the tours more customized, we can make sure the local community involvements in tourism activities, which directly contributes to the local economy, for cultural and natural conservations. What happens in mass tourism is that the tours are more focused on sites. Just the number of sites they are going to see, it's all about the quantity in mass tourism, quality doesn't evaluate. But, the responsible tours or activities always focus on experiences that tourists gain during the tours. In most cases, mass tourists desire to buy only souvenirs to express their travel. Sometimes these souvenirs never contribute economically to any local community and they are made in less environment-friendly. You may notice many souvenirs in every tourist destination that are not even made in your country. But, a responsible tourist always desires to gain more experiences and knowledge than souvenirs or material things. Even if they are planning to buy souvenirs, always they prefer to buy from local craft artists who create artistic crafts for livelihood. Mass tourism has various negative impacts on environment, economy and society. It is known to all that mass tourism creates pollution, changes the local economic system, and have social impacts like demonstration effects, irritation, displacements etc. When it comes to responsible tourism, it ensures more positive impacts on the destination, like boosting local environmental and cultural conservation, community empowerment programs etc. Mass tourism activities are practiced with a low added values to the tourist, they will only get less value addition by the process of travel. But, responsible tourism promises high added values, the tourist gets more values by traveling or experiencing local culture. But many mass tourism activities these days are not giving importance to core values, and without the values, travel becomes meaningless. That's the very importance of practicing responsible tourism. From the points we have discussed now, we can figure out that there are three major dimensions for responsible tourism system: environmental responsibility, economic responsibility, and social responsibility. All of these are integrated into responsible tourism. The same is applied to all stakeholders in travel and tourism. It can be the locals, the tourist, tour operators, travel and tourism trade organizations, government agencies and policymakers etc. These dimensions of responsible tourism act as same as sustainable tourism, but in reality, both works in a different approach. Now most of you may have confused about how the concepts of responsible tourism is different from sustainable tourism. In simple words, responsible tourism is what we do, but sustainability or sustainable tourism is what we're going to achieve in a long run. Responsible tourism is part of the long-term sustainable tourism process. It can be a destination planning, development, operations etc. Moreover, responsibility is the action. It is what you have to practice in the field. Whereas, sustainability is the goal. It is more kind of policy-oriented approach. According to Harold Goodwin, responsible tourism is about taking responsibility for making tourism sustainable. It is about what people do to address the various challenges we face. You got some ideas on the basics of responsible tourism and how it is different from mass tourism. Let's try more details on RT. Part 2: Responsible tourism characteristics. In this part, we discuss more on responsible tourism characteristics and dimensions. The Cape Town Conference on Responsible Tourism in Destinations, 2002, recognized that responsible tourism takes a variety of forms. The conference has listed major 7 characteristics. Number 1. Travel and tourism, which minimizes negative economic, environmental and social impacts, especially in the local and indigenous communities. Number 2. Travel and tourism, which generates greater economic benefits for local people, and enhances the well-being of host communities, also improves their working conditions and access to the tourism industry. Here the main focus is on direct economic benefits. Number 3. Travel and tourism, which involves local people in decisions that affects their lives and life changes. These kinds of involvements are much needed in every stage of tourism planning. Number 4. Travel and tourism, which makes positive contributions to the conservation of natural and cultural heritage, to the maintenance of the world's diversity. The responsible tourism companies, or policymakers, have to first research local environment and culture, before starting any developmental plans. It is vital to ensure that the natural and cultural heritages are not going to affect by any tourism activities. Also to boost conservations for the same. Number 5. Travel and tourism, which provides more enjoyable experiences for tourists through more meaningful connections with local people, and a greater understanding of local cultural, social and environmental issues. Travel programs must be crafted as more experience-oriented than materialistic-oriented. Number 6. Travel and tourism, which provide access for people with disabilities, and the disadvantaged. The destination must have easily accessible travel options, extra care for those who need it, and avoid any kind of discriminations. Number 7. Travel and tourism, which is culturally sensitive, ensure respect between tourists and hosts, and builds local pride and confidence. The quality relationship between tourists and hosts are important to ensure responsible tourism. We have to teach tourists about the local culture before reaching there, and also the host must learn some standard etiquettes of hospitality. These are the major characteristics of responsible tourism. Part 3. How to be a responsible tourist. How a responsible tourist is different from normal tourists. This part, we discuss the major tips for responsible travel lifestyles. Let's learn each one. Watch your waste, and follow leave no trace policy. Always avoid littering the destinations you visit. Always pack reusable bags while you are traveling. Maximize the use of natural and plastic-free products. Try to use reusable containers and cutleries for your next picnic or trip. For example, a small metal spoon doesn't weigh that much. Pack reusable personal items on your trips, so you can avoid one-time usable plastic products in your destination. Say no to straws. Straws are one of the major plastic waste seen in any tourist destination. Try to avoid the use of plastic straws. Maintain a good outdoor ethics. Unethical outdoor activities may affect the environment very badly. Make sure you are properly maintaining basic outdoor ethics of that particular fragile destination. Respect the local customs. You must respect and follow local rules. Always get to know about the local customs of the destination before your trip starts. This will help you in better planning, and also to avoid any cultural conflicts at the destination. Ask before taking photos, especially if you are taking photographs of local people, their daily life, customs, or religious symbols etc. Always ask for permission before clicking the photos. And try to respect the privacy of the local people. Learn basic, cultural mannerisms and etiquette. Depends upon the region and local culture. Try to understand the local cultural mannerisms and etiquette from your guide or tour operator. Respect the host culture and religion. Respecting local culture and religion is vital to maintain a good host-guest relationship. The local ideologies may be entirely different or just opposite to your personal beliefs. As a responsible tourist, you must experience the local culture as it is and enjoy the S. Give back. Your travel must give back something to the core community or nature. There are a lot of ways that you can use your trips to contribute directly to the community. If possible, as a responsible tourist, donate or gift money for local initiatives and social causes. Participate in volunteering activities while traveling, to give a helping hand to empower them. It can be in any forms. Involve in long-term skill exchange projects. That is the best thing a responsible tourist can do. Share your skills with the locals needed, and empower them. For example, you may be an expert in a foreign language, or first aid techniques, or management solutions, or any kind of arts. Share skills of your passion and experience with the local community. Keep in touch and help the host even after tour. A responsible tourist will always keep in touch with the local communities he or she had traveled. You can help even after your trip, whenever they need a helping hand to overcome the crisis. Reduce carbon footprint. Always opt for walking, cycling, and use of public transportation instead of personal vehicles. Stay in a green hotel, local eco-lodges, eco-friendly camps etc. A responsible tourist tries to fly in economy classes and take longer vacations in the same destination. Don't take many flights to reach a place. Also try to stay in the same destination for many days and experience the local world. Avoid traveling to too many places in a short period, like what mass tourists do. Avoid single-use products. Use only reusable products to further reduce your carbon footprint. Buy local items. Eat local, stay local, and do local. Purchase products that are locally grown or made. It can be products like meals, snacks, souvenirs, clothing, etc. Bargain respectfully. Don't bargain too much for any local products. Buy at the price that the local person wants to sell, or make a responsible deal. Support local enterprises. In any popular destination, you can see both local and multinational enterprise. In reality, these local establishments are trying hard to get survive due to big market competition. Buy from small-scale sellers, even if your favorite brand products are available on stores. Let's support and experience locally made products. Use sustainable tour services. Always choose a company that respects the local environment and works with local communities. This makes it easier to ensure your trips are supporting locals, and also to ensure there are no harms made to the host community or environment. Consume only green tourism activities, like stay in eco-lodges or homestays, involve in community tourism activities, and be part of social tourism initiatives. Avoid mass or over-tourism. Don't travel for just the sake of status or ego. A responsible tourist never travels for social status, or only to update in their social networking sites. Choose destinations that give you more experiences than Instagrammable photos. Travel responsibly and sustainably. Travel during off-peak periods also. It helps the destination to be less crowded, polluted, and it gives extra support to the local community whose livelihood is dependent only on seasonal tourism activities. Try offbeat destinations. Instead of popular overcrowded destinations, try some unknown, or offbeat destinations. But make sure you are doing it more responsibly this time. That's some tips for how to be a responsible tourist. You must try to practice all these on your next trip. Part 4. Responsible Tourism Models, India. So far, we have discussed the basics, characteristics, and tips on responsible tourism activities. Now let's explore through some good responsible tourism models and initiatives. These are small and medium entrepreneurship or non-profit organizations working with a core objective of responsible tourism. Some of the successful responsible tourism models in India are Kabani Community Tourism, Kerala; the Blue Yonder, Kerala; the Tuns Valley, Uttarakhand; Grassroots, Maharashtra; and Buddha Folklore, Karnataka. Let's find out how these responsible tourism initiatives are working for better environmental, economical, and social changes. Kabani Community Tourism, Kerala. Since 2005, Kabani Community Tourism has been promoting a model that benefits local communities and reduces the negative impact of tourism. Mainly by promoting village walks, agriculture and fishing activities, local craft workshops for tourism activities. They are focused on cultural exchange programs, which benefits both host and guests. Their popular responsible tourism products include Spice Tour, Fair Trade Tour, and Festival Tours. The Blue Yonder, Kerala. The Blue Yonder is an internationally awarded organization that promotes responsible tourism from many decades. Their model is focused on day activities, experiences, storytelling trails, and rural stays. Unique services like gastronomic trails, sabbatical trips, city breaks, and musical trails are the promising aspects of responsible tourism initiatives. They have already completed the projects on conservation of rivers, local folklore, stories, and supporting local artist communities. The Tuns Valley, Uttarakhand. It is popularly known as Tuns Trails, or Kalap Trust. Tun Trails responsible tourism activities are linked with community health systems, village after-school and sustainable village initiatives. They are providing customized homestays, experiences, festivals and farm tours for guests with the help of local people of Tuns Valley, Uttarakhand. The unique responsible tourism is heard as lifestyle trails, parents and kids retreats, and family experiences. Grassroots, Maharashtra. Grassroots is on a mission to create 1 million rural livelihood opportunities, especially in the villages of Maharashtra. They are also supporting the reverse migration process by involving locals in responsible tourism activities. Moreover, Grassroots taking initiatives to revive local arts and crafts cultures. Their responsible tourism products includes Live the Rural Life Package, Wali Art Workshops and Rural Games. Buddha Folklore, Karnataka. They started the venture by documenting native knowledge, oral tradition and folk culture in the western coastal region of India. They offer students study tours to experience simple organic living, traditional skills and knowledge of the local community, as part of responsible tourism activities. They are all tour leaders, art teachers, craft trainers, are from the local community. Buddha folklore is promoting indigenous methods of cultivation, art, craft, and lifestyle. So the locals won't affect by the unsustainable modern massive machine cultivation methods. Their experiential tour activities include mat weaving, sedi art training, basket weaving, city dance, hiking, trekking, camping, local festivals and games. These are the organizations working towards one goal. The goal of making tourism activities responsible and create more responsible tourists. That's all about responsible tourism. Let's sum up again. Responsible tourism is an alternative form of tourism, which is focused on three major aspects, like environmental responsibility, economic responsibility, and social responsibility. Also, always remember that responsibility is the action, sustainability is the goal. Responsible tourism is more focused on the actions to solve the challenges faced by communities. Thank you for your interest in our course on responsible tourism. Kindly find more details from our website, www.tourismtalks.net. See you next time with another course on the basics of tourism. Thank you.